Please subscribe and like. Visa-free countries in Europe. According to the UNWTO, last year Europe was the top visited region in the world, with 671 million people traveling to the continent. Europe is an incredible destination with numerous highlights for travelers, and necessary amenities for digital nomads. Whether you're interested in nature, culture, cuisine, or history, there's a country in Europe for you. The only issue for American, Canadian, and Australian citizens when traveling in parts of Europe is that we must abide by the rules of the Schengen area, which includes 26 European nations. Holders of these three passports are only allowed to stay visa-free for up to 90 days within the entire Schengen area, within 180 days. UK passport holders can live, travel and work in the Schengen zone as long as they want. It may sound great to be able to enter all of the countries in the Schengen zone without having to procure a visa beforehand, but it's not a great place to travel long-term because it's difficult to travel to 26 countries in just 3 months. There are currently 4 countries, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Croatia, and Romania, that are legally obliged to join the Schengen area, but they haven't as of the time of writing this post, so get there while you can. The Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom are opt-outs and won't join the Schengen area, both of which are incredible destinations for travelers, although they aren't the most affordable when compared to the Balkans and Eastern Europe. See also, Cheap Countries in Europe, a guide for travelers. Prague is a gorgeous city to visit, but it's in the Schengen area. Georgia. This country is at the crossroads between Asia and Europe, but I'm adding it under Europe, because it has a European feel and was part of our Europe trip. In terms of entry requirements, Georgia is at the top of the list of the best visa-free countries. Australian, Canadian, American and British passport holders can stay in Georgia visa-free for a year. That's right, you have 365 days to immerse yourself in the charming city of Tbilisi, explore the numerous mountains, take a dip in one of the many pristine lakes, and dine on some tasty food and wine. Many digital nomads choose to base themselves in Tbilisi for part of the year, leaving when the cooler winter weather arrives. Georgia entry requirements. Australian, Canadian, American, and UK citizens can stay visa-free for up to 365 days. You must have one blank page in your passport and it must be valid for 6 months beyond your intended stay in Georgia. Bulgaria. This is another top choice when it comes to visa-free countries in Europe. With historical cities, friendly people, pristine mountains, affordable travel, and breathtaking coastal regions, Bulgaria seems to have it all. Don't miss the fun things to do in Plovdiv, the capital of Sofia, the seaside area of Varna and of course, the mountains around Bansko. Bulgaria entry requirements. Australian, Canadian, American, and UK citizens do not need a visa to enter and can stay 90 days, within 180 days. A passport that is valid for 3 months after the entry is required. Croatia. If you're looking for one of the best coastal visa-free countries, which also has numerous historical sites and incredible nature and amenities that travelers want, then consider Croatia. Split is a good place to base yourself for a while, which is exactly what we did. Dubrovnik is the stunning real-life Game of Thrones set, Plitvice Lakes are a natural wonder, and the islands offshore are perfect for a sailing getaway. Croatia offers excellent value for money. Croatia entry requirements. Australian, Canadian, American, and UK citizens do not need a visa to enter into Croatia and can stay up to 90 days, within 180 days. You must register with the local police within 24 hours of arriving, however, if you're staying at a hotel, they will do this for you. You must also have 3 months validity on your passport from the time you plan to leave Croatia, or you will be denied entry. Enjoy Croatia before it becomes a part of the Schengen area. Romania. Another easy country to travel to for 3 months. Romania is another one of the visa-free countries that not many people talk about. With medieval, mountainous towns like Brasov and Bran, the bustling city of Bucharest, unique folk culture, stunning nature, and tasty food, Romania should be on your European travel itinerary. Not to mention, it has blazing fast Wi-Fi for us digital nomads and it's a very affordable place to visit. Romania entry requirements. Australian, Canadian, American, and UK citizens do not need a visa to enter into Romania and can stay up to 90 days, within 180 days. Romania does not require you to have 3 months validity on your passport after you leave the country. It only requires your passport to be valid during your stay. However, if you're boarding a plane in a Schengen area country, they may deny you boarding if you don't have 3 or more months left on your passport. Serbia. Another country that is often overlooked by travelers, Serbia has a lot to offer. This visa-free country likes to get wild and is home to all-night parties and famous festivals, especially in the cities of Belgrade and Novi Sad. But, it's not just about the all-nighters in Serbia. The people are warm and welcoming, the nature and national parks are beautiful, and the churches, fortresses, and monasteries are not to be missed. If you're on the search for visa-free countries with an incredible history, look no further than Serbia. Serbia entry requirements. Australian, Canadian, American, and UK citizens do not need a visa to enter into Serbia and can stay up to 90 days, within 180 days. The United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland. These English-speaking visa-free countries are easy to get around independently and offer visitors an incredible amount of history and architecture, castles. The pub culture is always fun, the pints of beer are varied and tasty, and British food is quite good. The people of the UK and Ireland are warm and welcoming and have a great sense of humor. You're sure to have a good time here. United Kingdom entry requirements. Australian, Canadian, and American citizens can visit visa-free for 6 months. Republic of Ireland entry requirements. Australian, Canadian and American citizens can enter visa-free for 90 days. UK citizens have the right to free movement. Other notable visa-free countries in Europe. Montenegro. Australian, Canadian, UK, and American citizens can stay visa-free for 90 days, within 180 days. Albania. Australian, Canadian, and UK citizens can stay visa-free for 90 days, within 180 days. Americans can stay visa-free for up to 1 year. Kosovo. Australian, Canadian, UK, and American citizens can stay visa-free for 90 days, within 180 days. Note that you may be required to provide documentation stating the purpose of your trip. Macedonia. Australian, Canadian, UK, and American citizens can stay visa-free for 90 days, within 180 days. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Australian, Canadian, UK, and American citizens can stay visa-free for 90 days, within 180 days. Cyprus. Australian, Canadian, UK, and American citizens can stay visa-free for 90 days, within 180 days. You will need to show proof of sufficient funds for your stay, proof of onward travel, and 6 months validity left in your passport. Ukraine. Canadian, UK, and American citizens can stay visa-free for 90 days, within 180 days. Australians must obtain a visa on arrival and can only stay 15 days. Moldova. Australian, Canadian, UK, and American citizens can stay visa-free for 90 days, within 180 days. Visa-free countries in Asia. Asia, the Pacific was the second most traveled part of the world in 2017, with over 300 million visitors. Asia is the largest continent on our planet, and as you can imagine, it's a very diverse place in terms of landscapes, religion, and culture. From the off-track, nomadic Central Asian countries to the ancient history and culture of Northern Asia, and the beaches and jungles of the South, this is one exciting region of the world. You could spend years traveling in Asia and not see it all. Here are the top visa-free countries in Asia to put down some temporary roots, or travel around. The Philippines. The popular tourist trail that runs through Southeast Asia often doesn't include the Philippines, which is a good thing for you. The Philippines has a lot to offer travelers. There are over 7,000 islands that make up the archipelago. If you're into scuba diving, fishing, boating, snorkeling, swimming, or any other water activities, this is the country for you. The Philippines' beaches are incredible. Plus, you'll also find some busy cities, dramatic natural landscapes, and incredibly friendly locals. Philippines entry requirements. American, Canadian, Australian, and UK passport holders can stay visa-free for 30 days. However, visa-exempt foreign nationals can extend their stay monthly, but not exceeding the maximum period of 2 years. So, you can stay in the Philippines for 2 years, but you must extend your visa every month. I've heard there's an option to apply for 6 months. After 2 years, you need to leave the country, but you can return. Malaysia. This is truly a gem in Southeast Asia, and again, it's often overlooked by travelers. In this multicultural country, you'll find efficient transport, delicious cuisine, stunning beaches, numerous islands, a pristine underwater world, endless hiking opportunities, and a cosmopolitan vibe in the capital of Kuala Lumpur. Don't miss Malaysia. Malaysia entry requirements. American, Canadian, Australian, and UK passport holders can stay visa-free in Malaysia for up to 90 days. 3 months not enough time in Malaysia? You can do a border run to Thailand or Singapore, spend a night, and re-enter Malaysia. Typically you'll be granted another 90 days, but it depends on the immigration officer's mood. Make sure you check your passport to see how long you've been given.